Reaching out a hand, feeding mouths on the daily now, that's a man. Yeah, we still wear hoodies, we still rap pride, but our hearts beat loud and our eyes stay wide. We see pain in the system, see lies in the plan. We ain't buying the script, we rewriting the plan. No more ride or die, it's life to serve. We got kids to protect, got dreams to preserve. We ain't selling no poison, we handing out meals. And we don't need no throne just to show us real. I'm a gangster for the
Yeah,
cause,
gangster for the cause. Gangster for the cause. Ghost production. Hey, how you guys doing, by the way? How you doing? I got a message I want to share with you guys. It's hoping to be a nice one. I just ran across it, really. Yeah, I just ran across it. He talking about feeding the young people. Gangster for the cause. Watch out for the young people. Watch out for the neighborhood. That's his song. That's what the song is all about. Gangster for the cause. But yeah, I want to share something with you guys today. I'm gonna be this compassion, man. I got his hat on, you know. I'm trying to get him to so he can do things without his hat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna break this story down though. It's only 4 verses. I got about 6 pages and did a lot of little word research. It's not too long, but to try to make the story make sense to us, you understand? And it's called Ezra Reads the Law. Ezra. It's in Nehemiah chapter 8. And I said I got the verse 1, 2, 3, and 4. I could have went on and on and on, but it's, I stopped there because it's a lot of names and stuff. I have to break the names down. I broke a few of the names down to bring more synopsis or more, attention, more understanding to the story. But it's Nehemiah chapter 8 too. You like to read stuff. It's a good topic. It's really a good topic. I like to say I just ran across it. I didn't. I looked for something to do. I flipped through the pages and there it was. I said I might well try this. We're gonna try to glean on this right here. But it's a pretty good story. Pretty good story. Tell you the interest character, of course, is Ezra. He's the one. He's the priest, right? He's the priest. And these gods had just got back from Babylonian over there with Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had them, there was slavery and Nebuchadnezzar's reign over there in Babylon, you understand. And then King Cyrus over there, Persian king, he he took and dethroned King Nebuchadnezzar and them. He took the battle. He took them. He took over the King Nazareth kingdom. They went there and took everything. Hello there, Ara. Ara, Z-Y-N-E double X. Well, hi, how you doing? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm doing good, doing okay. DID, but we good. Same, the usual stuff, we good. Yeah, we good. Hey there, God and Judeceu. I spell these names because I don't want to mess them up. Joyejauden. Cenkunz. Consumer. I say that to your last name. Consumer. There's that old man. Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. I love you too. Oh, it's this voice thing a bit. I love you too. I love your double X Z Y N E X S Aura AURA ZYNE double X Aura. Yeah, we just caught in the middle of this story, people. We trying to talk about Israel raised the law. That's where the children of Israel was in captivity over there with King Nebuchadnezzar there, and also King Cyrus. He took uh, knocked down King Nebuchadnezzar. What happened was is a strategic plan that engineers engineered it. That's what they called them, engineers over there. And what he did, I marked that. That's one of the things I want to start off. Was great military strategy, and that's a good thing too. But what he did was the city was built, and then had in those days they had a big old gate around it, big fortress city. Protecting everything, the goods, family, people, everybody. So what he did was King Cyrus, and I think it was some kind of festival uh, King Nebuchadnezzar was having, and it kind of caught him off guard because it said it just took one day, and it was very little bloodshed, and they had ceased the whole kingdom because of King Cyrus' engineers. And what they did was they lowered the water up under the city, lowered it where they get all their people inside. And when they got inside, they took, I guess it surprised them, but they won the battle, took over the city and everything. And in the process of that, King Cyrus freed uh, the Israel, Jews, Jerusalem, and sent them back home. And King Cyrus even funded some of the real estate property. When they started building the temples again, King Cyrus King Cyrus funded some of that. He helped them out. He put finances in that, people. He put some finances in helping Jerusalem build their home back up. So that was the strategy part. King Cyrus is a bad man. He's been in there and he freed them. Now they was in captivity about 70 years. 70 years. Oh, we can't say that, but 70 years, yeah. They was in captivity about 70 years before King Cyrus freed the Jews. Jerusalem, they went back home. So I gave you a little synopsis. I'm going to try to get in a little sequence. I want to give you the meat of the story, but I'm going to try to get into a little sequence with you here. We're gonna double back a little bit, but that's just sort of like the middle part of the story. Just to try to show you about this guy King Cyrus goes. But now what happened? Ezra, he's a priest. They had just got back home after being in bondage for 70 years. And so what they did was, get on over here to it. What they did was, Ezra read the law, God's law to them, because they had been in slavery 70 years. See, they've been doing somebody else's law, been in bondage over there. So when they came back home, they built a platform intentionally. They built this platform intentionally. Now this is only 4 verses. I could have went on and on and on. The names, breaking down the names for each one, is a lot of, to try to give a little character, give a little credentials behind their name. Because they built this platform, you know what I'm saying, where Ezra stood on the platform, so he stood above the people. So when that happened, about 7 more men joined him. Now these are the names that they joined. These are the names that joined Ezra. Ezra's a priest now. They just getting back home, so they trying to get back into their law. You understand? God's law. You see what I'm saying? So they read the law to the people, and as they continue to read, they read the men. Let me give you the men that were standing beside the priest Ezra. The priest, I think he was the priest Ezra. So he was standing on a platform that they intentionally built for this meeting. This was done on purpose. So they just get back home. So to some of these guys, I may have a little problem pronouncing these names. I tried to practice these names. Matatatea. Now, he was a position of honor. He was a man, he seemed like he would have been a priest too, but he's a position of honor. And he stood beside Ezra. So now they got all the power and authority, all the lead men. It's about 7 of them standing on the platform with Ezra as they read the law of the land. So everybody there that could understand, who could not understand, let me say how they say that. Everybody that was there could comprehend what was going on and what they was reading to them in the law. They could understand it. If they couldn't understand it, then the people that did understand it, I'm assuming that they would have helped them understand it, because this is like a whole new slate, clean. They out of slavery, they back home. So they read the law. So I'm gonna give you a little about Shema, that's Shema. That was another man that stood with the Israel. And this is an interesting guy. Ezra, Ezra, he stood there too. So Mattathiah and Shema. And also there was Ananiah, Uriah, Hezekiah, Maaseiah, and on the left side was Pedadiah, because that was on the right side of him. On the left side of him was Pedadiah, Mithashil, Malachiah, Hashem, but it's in Nehemiah chapter 8. You want to tackle his name, might be around verse 2 or 3. Like I said, I only got the 4 verses. All this information I have is only 4 verses. And let's see some of the other names. Pedadiah, Mishael. I may get balls better here. Hashabadath, Zachariah, and Mishalam. That's in Numbers chapter 8, guys. You can check it out just in case you had any problem with the pronunciation. And you should be able to come to your own conclusion once you see the word. And usually you can ask the phone and just say the name for you, then you can practice and pronounce the name. That's how I usually do it, That way you can get proper pronunciation. I kind of rushed this lesson, though, but I've been on it all morning trying to get it together, 4 verses. So those are the guys that stood with Ezra. You feel me? Ezra, Ezra. These are the guys that stood with him. You got me? They stood with him on this platform that they intentionally built. Like Capacity Man told you guys that already. He sounded like he wasn't feeling too good or something, so I let him, I thought I'd take over. He kind of did me like that until I got him. So that's how you do. You gotta help your brother out sometime when they have problems. Is that all right? Is that right? Rain boy, hey, Rain boy, he's not a idiot. Rain boy say, that's right. Whoever he's not an idiot. Rain boy say he's not an idiot. I agree with you, Rainbow. Over there, everybody's great people. Let's try to calm that. Let's have a little class. Let's have a little knobby style. You remember I told you about the knobby style. A little class. That's a knobby. That's a British slang for classy. You're classy, but you have a classy conversation. Be respectable to one another. Respect each other. We can play, don't have a little fun. If you like having a little fun, I do. I like having a little fun too. There, you know what I'm saying? Hello there, Rainbow. How you doing there? How you doing good? Rainbow say hello. All right, bro. Rainbow, REIGN slash. One of the little slashes there, BOY, Rainbow there. All right. So, where's that? Oh, I'll say, if you always forget where you at, you always start with love, right? And God loves you. He loves all of us, man. He loves us, and we can just have fun in the Lord, enjoy ourselves, and it's a serious matter, but it's a relaxed matter, calm matter. Just hopefully breaking down information to where you can receive it, and maybe the thought provoke you to make some moves in your life. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's helping one another. You see what I'm saying? It's always about helping one another. When we can look past ourselves sometimes, and we can go to the nursing homes and go to other. That's another story. We give it that later. That's compassion, man. He must have got him. He's compassionate about that visit. He just love, and I love to go with him too, because I love to watch him interact with the people. He kind of rub off on me sometimes. Then you see what I'm saying? Then I'll start interacting with the people that we go visit. Sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes you got to think about others and not ourselves. Sometimes, even in your family members, sometimes your mother, father, grandparents, this, that. I know some of you guys haven't seen in a while. Some of you guys get there, you see your grandparents periodically. You got your own lives to live, you young people, and you got to go do what you got to do. But every now and then you start by, and I'm sure your grandparents appreciate that. That's a very thoughtful thing of you. So back to Ezra reading the law. We already went down the line and said about the guards standing on the intentional podium was kind of uplifted them over the people a little bit. They getting back from Jerusalem. From Babylonian. King Cyrus freed them after they had been enslaved 70 years. So now they getting back to the law. Their law, because they've been under somebody else's law. So let's go back to what we're going to go on down. We done covered that. We're going over to the next thing here, the explanation of the Torah. That's what it said. The explanation of the Torah to the people of Israel after they returned from exile. So that's what they're reading to them. So they decided to return from Babylonia, the exile. The period began when King Nebuchadnezzar captured Jerusalem and deported Jewish to Babylonia. And they stayed there 70 years. So you got that. They stayed there 70 years. So that's just telling you about the capture. And they got in Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylonia. He caught them guys, I guess he caught them slipping. And they didn't say what kind of strategic plan he used, but it does say what kind of strategic plan King Cyrus used on him and captured him. And King Cyrus captured Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. And then he sent Jewish people back home to their family, and also funded their finances and built some of the temples back. He put some money in on that too. It's another thing he did. Hopefully we'll get to that. And I thought it was very, very interesting that he did. It affected the whole world system. This thing he did. You understand? Well, hopefully we'll get to that. Let's see here. Explanation of the Torah. Okay, I did that, so we're going on down here. I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. Like I said, it's only 4 verses. And I did give you the Numbers chapter 8, right? Verse 1 through 4, okay. That's the Persian king. So we tell them now we go into the Persian king, which I gave you a little synopsis on him, so we wanted to get too much into that. I kind of got to that first, we kind of talked about that first there. Let's see. Rainbow, just sub to you. All right, Rainbow, I'm going to figure that's just sub to you, baby. All right, Rainbow. I know it's something good, though. Sub to you, sub. I'll figure that out. But So we get on to King Cyrus there. Israel, read the law. We did that. Okay. Nebuchadnezzar was a Babylon ruler. Took the Jewish people. Yeah, we got that covered, right, God? Got that covered. So I got on down pretty fast there. Got that. Of course, and King Cyrus. Okay, we did that. King Cyrus was the Persian king, and he, we just said that he dethroned Nebuchadnezzar. So okay, got all that. We about to wrap it up, guys. It wasn't long as I thought it was gonna be. Only been here about 15 minutes. Ain't that something? Wow. Okay, King. After that. Oh yeah. Okay. Now this was interesting. So King Cyrus. Man, let me get this good. This is a really interesting point right here, guys. So Nebuchadnezzar, well, I'm gonna read this. I got to get to read this here. Nebuchadnezzar was a Babylonian ruler who took the Jewish people into captivity. Got to that. Cyrus was a Persian monarch known for tolerance, known for a policy of religious tolerance. His victory marked the end of the Neo-Babylon Empire and the beginning of the Persian dominance in the region. King Cyrus, after the victory, Cyrus issued many call it today, historians call it the Charter of Human Rights. That's what he issued, the Charter of Human Rights. And what that was, he said he had sealed this. Let me get that human rights kind. So he issued and they called it a name. It's a cylinder. Well, here it is. Here it is right here. The human rights. It was inscribed on a clay barrel. What it was inscribed on. He wrote it on the clay barrel, and it's known today as the Cyrus cylinder. That's how it's known today. I guess it's nickname. Well, I guess it's not a nickname. It's known like that. The Cyrus cylinder is what he decreed that on. That for him, he's the first guy that looked at human rights, and also he did something else. See, religious freedom. He did religious freedom. People are allowed in his domain after he conquered. He said people are allowed. He did religious freedom. Now, what that means to you, guys, is what that means to you, okay? He did religious freedom. People were allowed to worship their own gods. So after he let the Jews go, they was allowed to worship their own gods, is what it seemed like. They said that he did. I hope you catch that he did. God worked through people, but they went back home, and they was allowed to. Now, who was they worshiping? Who was King Persia and Nebuchadnezzar? Now, everybody after he came into control, everybody now is allowed to worship their own God. So I guess what I'm saying, they still not thinking about worshiping the God of all gods. They still got their own gods. Everybody got their own gods. It seems like it's what because you're allowed to worship your own gods. That started there. Okay, that's the freedom of religions there. I want to bet to now. You understand? They returned to Cyrus and let Israel go home. After he let them go home and got through all that. So that was some of the things I want to let you guys. I hope that was clear on that. Reconstruction. Oh, yeah, here. Well, Reconstruction. Cyrus helped fund the rebuilding of some of the temples, including the second temple built in Jerusalem. King Cyrus, the Persian king that let him go home after he conquered Nebuchadnezzar king, he helped the children of Israel. He put in some real estate he put in some money on the deal there. They built the homes there. They built the temples. He funded the first one and helped for the second one too, according to this right here. And the victory ended the Babylonian captivity and established Israel, the Achaemenid Persian Empire, as the dominant world force. And King Cyrus became the dominant world force. Dominance over the world, it says right here. And back in those days, they did dominate over the world. They was dominating he became the dominant of the world force in the ancient world. That's what it says here. And you probably find it around in the verse 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. I love flowers. Okay, I love flowers. Hey, how you doing there? I can't speak. I'm acknowledging, though. I love flowers. ILOVEFLOUR. And it's a language. Okay. But yeah, that's what happened. King Cyrus, Persia. That's where he's from. He's from Persia. He became and this is a word they call here, Achemenides. I didn't look that word up. That's very unusual, amigos. I usually do. But Achademended. That's the Achademended. Achademended. I'm tearing it all to pieces, but I spelled it for you guys. That's in front of his Persian. The Achademend Persian Empire. So Achademend, however you pronounce it, Achademend Persian Empire was the dominant force in the ancient world back in that. For King Cyrus was not just a military win, it was a massive shift in world powers. It was not just a military win when he conquered Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians. I guess they was top dogs. He finally got he was a military, was not only a military win, it was a massive shift of world power. Now some of the things he put in, he said everybody can worship their own gods. That's what he means. He dominated. So he is a world power shift. So he started putting in things. He established human rights to be fair to one another. That was on the Cyrus cylinder, I think, that was established in law, for the world, because he's world dominant. You feel what I'm saying? That's what he said in his law. You understand? And see, what else did it say? I believe I thought those things was interesting. We told you about how he got inside of King Nebuchadnezzar and called him asleep, and he lowered the water down in their canal, and it was low enough to get up under the gate, because every city got a big fortress gate over it back in those days. I think I did a video on that. Got a gate over it, a man praying, and the guy, I was trying to make a comparison. Didn't know I was going to do this story. And they got up under the gate just low enough to get in there, and it was like a thief in the night, baby. They was up on them before they woke up. They didn't know what was going on. He says, wasn't that very minimum bloodshed? A good king there. They minimized that because that's strategic planning. Usually people that have strategic planning, they count lives and they minimize the damage, as much as possible, That's a thoughtful king. So that's a good thing. Maybe we can take a lesson from that, But anyway, that's what King, a massive. Let's see if we got any more comments. Yeah, see, divert the water. Yeah, I just told you about that. Masses and okay. And I got some more. It's some more. If I can go on and on, guys, but that's the gist of it. So there's just talking about the Neo-Babylonian Empire collapsed almost overnight, and Cyrus took control without massive bloody siege. I just described that earlier. So human rights charter inscribed on a barrel known as the Cyrus cylinder. I just told you about that earlier. So the names Ezra read laws. So I was talking about the names. I gave you the names earlier. If we got Shem, don't torture me, guys. I'm gonna tear them all to pieces. There's enormous number of chapter 8 there. You got Shem and Ananiah. I think it's really with an H on there, but they showed it up as Hananiah, but it's in the Bible say Ananias, and then you have let's see, Hananiah. You got guys, don't just go over there and look it up. Numbers chapter 8 there. That way I wanted to go through all the blah blah blah, because they hard to pronounce. I should have did more practice on the names, but I didn't. So forgive me for that. Okay, and we'll move on down here. So names. That was it. That's it. So that's about everything. I gave you all the information. There's only 4 verses. So I did a summary on it. Hopefully you caught it as we was conversating. I could do another summary if you want. Basically, that King Nebuchadnezzar took control over the Jews, Jerusalem, the temple, and they brought them to Babylon. They stayed in captivity 70 years. Then King Cyrus lowered the water under the channel, called King Nebuchadnezzar and them sleeping. And he got up under the fortress gate, and he took siege over the city. Then King Cyrus sent the Israel people home. 70 years they had been in captivity over there in Babylonia. But when they got home, they built a big platform over the people, and about 7 men and Ezra stood on it, and they read the law to the people, because they've been away from the law from my perspective. They've been, in captivity. I'm sure some of them have been still practicing the law of prayer and stuff while they were in captivity. I'm sure, just because you're in captivity, that don't mean you lose sight of who you know. You understand? Sometimes when you're in captivity, you really lean on who you know. some of higher beings. So I'm sure they was doing that, but he just got them when they was all together. I imagine people spread out sometime when you're in those kind of positions there. You slave to another country, so they all was able to get together. Maybe a family was not together from time to time in that situation over there. So they was all able to come together and read the law. And I imagine it was good to get back home too, after being man, just that's my imagination when I think about it. Yeah, I imagine that, man, that would have been good. You have to been in bondage for 70 years, then you back home. So he decided, I imagine it's a solid move, a humbling move. I don't imagine it's a bad move because they managed they home now. So they want to read the law. They be sure about understand the law because they going to run their home now by the law. You understand? And I imagine they had Moses' law. I think it did. I think it was Moses' law, the Ten Commandments. Has all that came down through there. That's what they was reading. Yeah, so yeah, that's about it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Thought that was an interesting topic. So I didn't have nothing to do. That was just a little short lesson. I didn't do number 4 verses. I don't know if it'd be maybe try to go on down there and see what else. But the main point was just about the law. Ezra's read the law when you come back home, and then all the things that happen in between what we just discussed. It's a great lessons in that, and that's to thought provoke you, and hopefully you can find a lesson for yourself. What would be in that? I got a lesson out of it for myself, and of course my lesson is this: what I said earlier. You don't ever lose sight on God, on Papa, no matter what position. If you're in captivity or not in captivity, like I said, I imagine as soon as they got home, they was ready to do what they. That was seemed like one of the first things. Like it was almost a priority. They just seemed like after getting there, hey, we're gonna build this platform. Let's go read God's law. Be sure we're all on the same page, because they get a new fresh start here. So I got that out the lesson too. So you just see what you guys thought about it, man. I thought it was a great lesson. Let's ran up on it. And you guys enjoyed your day. Hope you had a great Easter Sunday. Yeah, Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday for the folks out there. Yeah, Easter Sunday. So happy Easter Sunday. And actually, I got a reminder on that. My sister-in-law pumped. I had a lot of other stuff going on. Slipped my mind there. I reflected on it, and that's a good thing. Good thing. Now, I don't know if Jesus did it on the April 15th. I got to study that, see what's up with all that, this, that. But we celebrated. Sounds like a good wholesome thing to do. So it sounds like nobody's trying to get hurt about the situation. It's some underlying things there, but we can get in that another time. Right now, we just leave it like it is, and we just enjoy the moment for the moment, baby, and we'll get with that later on. All right, guys, you guys have a great day. Have a beautiful life, and I hope to see you next time. All right, see you later. Bye. God bless you. God love you. And most of all, God loves 8 billion people. You can't go without saying that, regardless of what they feel, And you are a spiritual being, and you're stronger than a fallen. I say it like that because angel just made, but that means angel or anything. As long as you're strong and you're even strong against yourself when you got some things that may be trying to tempt you. So that's what's good about a spiritual man, baby. That's what we all try to grow to. That's the next level there. And we are from heaven. We are from heaven. I'm sorry, we are from heaven. I know it's part of a long time ago. Babies come from heaven, life go back to heaven. Ghosts give up, goes back. God, he got a circulation going. Life comes down and life goes up. It's like a circle, Life is like a circle, you know what I'm saying? It goes up and around and around on the life circle there. So but our home got invaded, a long time ago. You find it over there in Revelation chapter 11. Revelation chapter 11 tell you about an invasion that happened on earth. Some unwelcome company failed here. Caused a lot of problems here. You understand? Because we didn't invite him in. He just got kicked out. He fell here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but anyway, that's what happened, guys. But hey, hopefully you got something out of the story. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. And God bless you. God bless you. Bye for now.